Abusua yɛmmakɔ aba bio ɛba POG Media. Ɛnɛ yɛde mmɛkɔ highway ne so highway ne deɛ nsɛm bebree wɔ so a yɛn nso yɛagye pene sɛ yɛbɛma yɛabadwafoɔ no ahu deɛ ɛrekɔ ɛne deɛ ɛreba na dɛn na ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ highway ne so. Ɛyɛ Electoral Commission J.Mensah. Deɛ J.Mensah yɛ no Ghana ɛyɛ sɛ ɔhwɛ no yie a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa. Na ɛyɛ BVB machines na ɛyeraeɛ no ɛna ɛho nsɛnsɛm ayɛ dɛn aba asisi a saa machines no yɛakɔ akɔhu sɛ ɛhyɛ NPP foɔ office a ɔmo register amanfoɔ edin egum. Kyerɛ sɛ machines na ɛyeraeɛ no akɔ akɔdi NPP foɔ n'ankasa hɔ a kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo register amanfoɔ koraa a ɔmo mfiri Ghana ha sei edin na egum a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa a esi ano yɛakɔ akɔkye EC office foɔ no yɛakɔ akɔkye ɔmo sɛ saa nkorɔfoɔ no ara na ɔmo de machines no akɔ akɔpie mu ɛwɔ NPP mpanyinfoɔ no hɔ a ɔmo de ɛretwerɛ amanfoɔ edin no bi gum saa machines na ɛyeraeɛ no. Na wei ɛna NDC Gǔrǔs n'aba abɛstrike on them ama Kevin Taylor nso aba abɛtoto bi ama ne ɔmo a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ deɛ J.Mensah yɛ no NDC foɔ no ɛnyɛ very vigilant. Ɔmo ma ɔmo ani nda hɔ na ɔmo ngu so mfolo na ɔmo abɔ ɔmo adwene pɔ sɛ aba naa na ɔmo bɛyɛ dɛn ebewie mu nti no ɛyɛ sɛ machines na aka no nyinaa no ɔmo ɛfa serial number no sɛnɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ɛni ɛyi biara na ɛbɛkɔ so biara no ɔmo bɛhu deɛ ɔmo yɛ ɔmo nti si adeɛ EC J.Mensah ɛne NPP kɔ ɛyi no kɔlabo na ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ no yɛakye ɔmo a yɛhu sɛ ɔmo retwerɛ amanfoɔ edin egu machine ne so a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa. Kevin Taylor aba abɛdrɔpe hot details yɛbɛpɛ sɛ yɛbɛma yɛabadwafoɔ no bɛma yɛakɔ na yɛakɔ akɔtie nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ so na ansa na yɛbɛkɔ no wowɔ nsɛm kan bi afa hyɛ yɛ comment section like hyɛ ma afoforɔ nso nsa ntumi nka bi. Aha ɛyɛ POG Media medam ase.
Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't end there. We petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to constitute an independent bipartisan investigation into the matter of stolen biometric equipment of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. We all know that Parliament has had to go on break abruptly. So again, not much progress has been made along that path. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC has always been suspicious that the stolen kits could be used to illegally register some people in order to add them to the voters.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Nancy Rebecca say SGSS before Obu be free Ghana. And that news in the buy. And NPP for SA United Jimmy Yabua. Foreign companies are going. SGSSB has made profit. They activated their propaganda tool. Ladies and gentlemen, you break away and sani akwenim. Make sure more mind sani say. Brofo, makajam say a dangerous weapon. So one te brofo de bia obi be fa so yakwasia ye be use as a slave. 2 days ago Rebecca said SGSSB omo ba be gu Ghana branch because economy na say. Omo nya kapre. Ye won namfofo ye won nuanom omo ye dwuma SSB. Ye wo senior omo so ebre am be so hwe omo ma. Sa news ne ba abontene ma NPP for ka kire say ye nkwasiafo ye Jimmy hwinsi ye. And the SGSS before a release statement. Makaja said brofo a dangerous. We Jimmy and ye debe retreat you. This is what they have said now. SGSS before say SG Group announces strategic review of Société Générale Ghana. Brofu ene da hosano. Se mo amasua brofo kakrada no ni nyina ne se SGSSB say omu dwumadi a omu di no Ghana no enko yi enti omu saa de omu ni behwe ni biem de ompese omu ka kire mo ne se emu nyamfaso na omu be free Ghana. SG Group announces strategic review. See, I can say review, it could be upward review and then downwards review. And even a John Mahama catch them and say, Adibia NCC suno, yasheni biem. Ne yasheni biem ne nya, ne atenete nyoma. SGSSB, a government institution though, a profit-making venture. It's a can review aha. SGSSB, it is not like free SHS you can review. When a profit-making entity tells you, I want to review my stay here, then they are telling you, I am thinking of relocating. And that ebia, the number of banks are a wokrum hana muno. Say 20, they might leave only one. Ebia, they will not go with all the banks. They will move all the banks and leave one. And the one they will leave, they will let it partner another bank. Indirectly, SGSSB say, Omo she. So, Omo be yomu bank, you mani na do free Ghana, no mo jaketwe bi wo Ghana. Brofuna da hono sa nechre. Remember, SGSSB, any government policy. When you say you want to review a government policy, you want to restructure it and make sure it benefits the citizens. So the priority of reviewing free SHS is to benefit the citizenry. The priority of SGSSB is to make profits. And the profit is not for you, it's for them. So if they are not making the profit they want, they have the right to take 90% of the company out and leave 1%, which will not cost them anything. Yanko na asiedun kitia enjujum bukuro no egu.
Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't end there. We petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to constitute an independent bipartisan investigation into the matter of stolen biometric equipment of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. We all know that Parliament has had to go on break abruptly. So again, not much progress has been made along that path. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC has always been suspicious that the stolen kits could be used to illegally register some people in order to add them to the voters' register, to enable them vote on December 7, 2024. That remains our suspicion. And that underlines all the precautionary measures we are trying to take to forestall that one and give everybody peace of mind. I have made a point that if a thief enters a house and steals some items and walk away, where the house owner is keeping bulldogs, and you don't hear any barking from any of the bulldogs, you know that the thief is the relative of the house owner who has been coming to the house frequently. So the dogs will have no reason to bark because the thief is a part owner of the house. If hardware can be stolen under CCTV surveillance, why not an activation code? We all know that in the past, the officers on the field were allowed to activate the registration kits. Today, as we speak to you, all that has been centralized. If it is centralized, it tells you that it is the Electoral Commission at their headquarters alone that can provide their activation, that can do the activation and send the codes. It was evident on the first day of registration, up to 12 noon, many of the registration centers had not had the activation code, so they couldn't work. So if EC is the only body that provides the activation codes, and some of the kids are missing, and they come to tell you that, oh, don't mind, without their activation, they are useless. Who does the activation? If you are keeping those codes in, say, Togo or somewhere, Burkina Faso, or in some houses, and you do your activation and send your codes to the thief who is a relative, how are we supposed to know? So we have then decided that to put a check on those things. If we don't know or cannot identify the kits that are stolen, at least those that are in use today can be identified and tracked so that we know the identity of the kits that are being used in this registration exercise. Faced with this imminent threat of a compromised voters register, we adopted a precautionary measure going into the limited registration exercise. And that is why the NDC tasked its registration agents across the country to record the serial numbers of all BVR kits that will be deployed by the Electoral Commission. And the logic is simple. You have so many registration kits. You claim some thief has stolen some of them, whose identity you refuse to disclose to us. So we can track them when we see them somewhere. Now if we say that, okay, if we cannot track those that are missing, at least we can track those that are in use now. So that when we know those that are in use, then data from any other equipment that is not in use in our registration centers here would then be rejected as fraudulent data that is coming from elsewhere. Now that too, you say no way, we won't allow you to take the serial numbers and track the equipment that is being used in this country. What is the reason? As I have said earlier, among other things, the essence of recording the serial numbers of the BVR kits will help us trace, identify, and match every registration data emanating from a specific district or electoral area. The serial numbers will also help us track all unauthorized personnel who operate the BVR kits in an electoral area. This will forestall any clandestine registration aimed at contaminating the voters' register. We are determined to ring-fence the threat and risks for the 2024 elections. by documenting the serial numbers of each BVR kit that will be used in this registration exercise. Our agents also have our firm instructions that if BVR kits malfunction and are replaced during registration, they should duly record the serial numbers of the new BVR kits and the date and time of their use. Ladies and gentlemen, we are utterly surprised that this precautionary measure, simple as it may be, taken by the NDC, is being resisted fiercely by the Electoral Commission. For whatever purpose, nobody knows. Why is the EC resisting and stopping NDC registration agents from recording the serial numbers of biometric voter registration kits? Why? The question is, what does the EC have to hide? What is their fear over the mere recording of the serial numbers of these BVR kits, knowing very well some have been stolen under your watch? Some have been stolen under your watch. We say, let us track and protect those that are yet to be stolen. And you are resisting. Are you not part of the thieves? Is there something they are hiding from the public? Will our precautionary measure not prevent the criminals who stole the BVR kits from using them to illegally register people? If the EC has nothing to hide, they should just allow all willing political parties to record the serial numbers of BVR kits during this limited voter registration exercise. Friends from the media, on election day, serial numbers of biometric verification devices are recorded on the statement of pool, commonly called pink sheets. Is that not the case? Agents of political parties have access to the serial numbers of BVDs. So why stop the recording of serial numbers of BVR kits? Those who may not understand this, the biometric voter registration kit is what is being used now to capture the data of persons of registrable age. In other words, to help us compile the voters' register. During election, in order to ensure that the same people who were registered are the very people who will be voting, we upload these registers onto the BVD, biometric verification devices. The data that is being captured with the BVRs is uploaded onto the BVDs and taken to the polling stations, where their particulars are used to verify whether they are the same people who were registered on that day. Now, we are allowed access to the serial numbers of the biometric verification devices that are used in the conduct of the elections at the polling stations. If we are saying that, let us now identify the kits that are used to capture the register in the first place, and you say no. What it means is that you alone will determine which people to capture, which machines to be used, and nobody can track it. So you can add names there. And once the names are already inside, when you upload them onto the verification kits, and the people turn out to vote, even if they come as Togolese or Burkinabes or Ivorians, the law does not prevent them from voting once their names are already inside. So we are saying, let us have a handle on the equipment that is being used to capture the register. Then we can trace where each of the equipments will be operating. So that if we find an equipment that has captured data and it is not in the stock that has been deployed across the country, we can raise questions. Is that not a transparency measure that will improve the credibility of the voters' register and by extension, the credibility of the Electoral Commission itself, if they are interested in building any credibility at all?
All right. So that was J.Mensah Ketia, on the chairman of the NDC. And you're kind of, I'm going to tougher now for you quick, maybe a problem in now. I will not make this long. This is simple. The now kind of bro from you swami for quabre, a yas and gregua, bantama, a year, anyanchirum, moana, J.Mensah Ketia bro for a dorsano. My minion is simple. Now for you, a year, Jumedia easy. Eye katashye ene proye ene krono ene sene on peso mu wia abanim ema NPP. Mo kai se embre me ka kire mo se EC Electoral Commission J.Mensah ne bossman be ka kire se omo machines bi a yede to aba a ewo Electoral Commission ho no ayera na nipa bi na ewia no me ka kire mo se obi anwia ye omo de ama NPP fo. Na sa machines no mo se ayera no a machines a omo kwotworo din edi eguso me ka kire mo ha eno na ende yedu eye limited registration a kakra NDC for ebusa simple questions a aye din ama J.Mensah mo se omo bepene time omo ka se omo machines enum ayera na sa machines no machines a ehia pa ye de to aba eno na ye di edintworo nyina guso etwaba eto aba. Now, ebesi ne, isia almost security yet tighter, cameras be biano. To be for video ba kumpomba abonten be kanchire se edan wemu, ana edan wemu, ana edan wemu, ena simesi we huri wo ebe wia machine no, obi an kanchire ye. Yesi kɔ wia machines ni so a yehu obi enim. Na nse yet ye ka se court says ankofo no omo bail so omo nko. Into omo kɔ wia na yenim omo. CCTV cameras ewo isi wa ewo se capture akromfo a omo si mu se omo ko wia machines na ye hu footage bia ena ye te ha no so nipa omo ko wia na omo nim ankasa ye mfa nkire wo bia enti as you sit here sa nyoma miensa we J.Mensah say ye jimi onka nkire wo bia fine ene ya start eye limited registration we ni nyina ne say omo a omudin eni eye de enwoma nim anase register mu a omo pese omudin bekam ebehjem ene omo a sebio omo register da omo abedi 18 a omo pese omudin behjem no sa ankofo ne ye bie hu kwan ama omo se omo so matchiro omudin na yemfa omudin enka omo a omo betuma to aba 2024 December na hwe bibia problem no ase de nketia asem o kana bi dwom kakri bi ama eba registration na ye Achro nipa dina machine na yede ye no ye friend no BVR broni be friend biometric voter registration kit inti ye ka nyoma mienu asem wa de yede ebe chiro wudin no machine na yede ebe chiro wudin no sa machine na ye friend BVR kit no eno na ye chiro wudin a ebe koso sa machine no ye friend BVR and ye chiro wudin da sa computer no ene na wudi no bekwa kwotena so na ya wudi awie no ya o machine ya yefre no BVD eno na ada ye to aba no ene na ya na ohunu wo ho no eno yefre no biometric verification device sa de ye ende de registration ye to aba ye mfa ma but the ende machine sa akoto no iswa ye de ebo wonsa no yefre no verification registration kit no eno na ya kire wudin de aguso na ya kire wudin guso a na ye wie bibia no ye fra bi BVD sa machine no eno na ada ye to aba no eno na ewo bebia obokako to aba no ye wie edi na ya kire gu eye BVR no so ye beyi ni nyina de aba begu eye BVD no so enti ye begu BVD no so a eno na wudu election day polling station a ye bo wudin Kevin Taylor ebetwe wudin na ba it does all tia say sa BVR na and the year registration no so wudin koswa and so beto aba until say is no eyi wudin no upload the egu BVD no so wudin number BVD no so a enya de obetuma to aba Ghana. That means say electoral commission no obetumi edi edin a ono pe aka BVR machines no so the end amokoto no registration no electoral commission betuma kofa nipa 50,000 din abehiem inti se obia anhwa na wasesa sa din de agu BVD no so into on the day of election no sa machine no de besiwa ebeba se nipa 50,000 din wom na sa nipa no monte ase eyomo ana de ahyem e wa santimemu omo ana de ahyem e wa ifa e wo edien eastern region inti NDC for say yete na mo se nkofo abebo ewura mo office abewia mo machine num se se yete yenim nipa machines ni wono ho yenim dwumadi a omudidi enti for us all ye ne party omo Ghana nyina ya dwunu be ye fine no sa machine and ye de bon nkofo ano di omudin kwagugu so a ye frɛ no BVR no machine bia wo number sronko a ewo ho NDC for catch from agent say obian record number ewo machine ho sene be ya say easy eye adwuma wo asankregwa school police station A na nipa 20,000 and a sa machine nko a record ya edina ana serial number no a ewo no eno nko na betuma kire say machine we na de call eye asankregwa BA school no eno nko a record nipa 20,000 sene be ya se yi nipa 20,000 de ba BVD so on election day a enko ye say ebia ye yi nipa 20,000 abe nipa 18 anasa abe nipa 300,000 inti NDC for say prepare your ene say nyoma mu beda fine no isi ma omodien omo agent no entumi recording machine bia ebo nipa nsa no sene be ye behu machine bia nipa dodo a omo kire omudin sene be ye movie nyoma no ana ye transfer edin no e de ko BVD ne so a enkoye problem because there na ebe ya say ye register nipa 20,000 e obantama na election day yakodru ho no na sa machine na ye transfer nyoma na ye ko hu BVD ne so a nipa 2,000 ebe ha dwene ebe ha NPP into the ebe ye ne say NPP for so ntro number no NDC for ntro number no send ye be ya on the day of election ye nyina ebe hu say Bantama school A machine we for nipa 15 into nipa 15 ampara omudin wo so BVD ne so eno na NDC for ka because yate Ghana sisi no sa machines 5 na isi sa yira no yenim nipa esini dem yenim nipa bi wakofa school bi register obo edingu so the only way you betumi a separate some machines na ayira no from the area adwuma then say you betumi a pick serial numbers of the end area adwuma isi say ye wia no say ne be ya daachi bi ebia NDC ni NPP ni CPP ni bi ekofa 5 no ba be wure mu a ye nyina ebe hu say 5 we die ada ye registration no na any system nim nti edin e wo so no efiri hin na bai eno ani ade a NDC for say yenye na emunda ho fine electoral commission for say lalai NDC agent will resist attempt by the EC to prevent them from recording serial number. Into ubusa EC for na almost a response and say, we have nothing to hide. Your request is risky for Ghana's electoral system. How risky is this request? How is this request risky? Because the riskier part of this is the 5 machines that are out there that we don't know what is happening to it. The 5 machines na yenim the serial number, yenim what they are using it for, yenim ni pa yenim the amount of work they are doing on it, and then they risky. But what the EC and the NDC the safer protection way, because one yetifie and a won koko 10 and a nipa bi ewuram anakoko hwede bi ewuram abeyi trade ko. Now die na osie ye pese koko hwede de beba biem asa abeyi trade akọ. Na wakwati sa de akoko kontware abefrem nti yesi ye ebuo yenye ebuo na enkoko nso na aka no yembo ho ban se ne be ya obi ntumi nkofa mmoa bi mbefrem be ma yembo na yare anase sa akoko hwede no ense nya chance embewia nkoko ni bi de na akoko ba tan ne kase ene de mmoa no sa akoko ba tan ne kase mmoa na ne mpena ne kokko hwede no akoko ba tan ne madu ena kokohwede bia abawia miensa de ko ena enkoko nyini cock omo area o se akoko batan won kokodu ena emu miensa kokohwede akwa amwako ata abawia de ko ye pese ye bo ho ban amwako ata ye kromfo enti won kokoyi ye beye ebuo ne ye de wo ne won kokodi nyina ahyem se ne beye a enkoko ni bia enyira amwako ata ontumi nyibi na wabɔ ho ban ene won kokɔ no ho ban na won ba na nyiniye se akokɔ baatan ne kasa ompene a na ebi akokɔ baatan no ne mpena ne kokɔhwede no enkora na osesa na kokɔhwede ma enu ntina akokɔ baatan ne ntumi nkasa enti J.Mensah preventing the EC from getting access to the J.Mensah preventing NDC from getting access to the serial numbers no J.Mensah knows where the 5 kids are. Sa 5 machines no say ayan onim. They gave it to the NPP. The idea ni nyina say anything this NPP for catch them say yeah the tactics be win elections no. They have the 5 machines our NPP headquarters. Mark Menu any NC boss omnom handle some machine no. They are loading it with fake names. They are loading it with over 2 million names. What is going to happen in the say? Some machines no almost pese almost the fra on the day of election BVD machines no and I say BVR machines no na move sardine nyina de ko BVD so what they want to do is say on election day on the ground no be say NDC for atoaba but results in the bar obo say a different because then na 60,000 na NDC nya 20,000 NPP nya 40,000 oh say atoaba monko court and ntia de bia samia wukumo and ntia de bia nana bi mo and it's not brand champion money Bawumia Mujin said they win the elections. Into the NDC need to insist to say every BVR machine, the serial number is recorded. If they decide not to do it, they need to rush them and do it because the EC is rigging the elections. And they be a Ghana for this is how elections are rigged. Into only the 5 machines now MPP for. And the market NPP for say we know there's going to be a 3 million gap between Bawumia and John Mahama. They know Bawumia and Mahama gap them 3 million votes. The 5 from NPP for say loading with fake names. And they will slowly and quietly move them. And it's na asedun ketiaka say first no machines and kedikoye adwuma na electoral officers the omo location na activity and the EC said that be machines na esi wokeke omo na wo officer omo activity na so wo na wo officer wo activity what shows to say want to me and loading up from the office into what the NDC are asking is simple. J.Mensah ne bossman no boni ne krono omo abono because they are bent on rigging election 2024. It's a fact. But you and I are the people with the power. You and I are supposed to support the NDC. Debbie Amekacham said the NDC can do its part. It's a political party. Members yes saying yeni a year for Jenimno. Yeni Akuffo treaty bad no. Into say and the NDC focus. Let's go and demonstrate and walk to the EC office. Everybody should be part of this. To go to the EC office to show them say we are not playing here. So NDC focus on here 20,000 people on the street to help save the democracy of this nation, because what the EC is doing, no, is basically to destroy our democracy and to come to me see me say what J.Mensah is doing on a bossman asari. The omo yeno into kwabe to me see it will never end. We will not have a chief, we will not have a queen. Nobody in Ghana can stop it. We are seeing the red flags. Busaon. And so yenya hemfuni bi nkwasiafo ni bi eso so Bawumia so. Omu refi omu se etija, nobody is a chief in Ghana. Omu refi se etija, nobody is a pastor in Ghana. Etija, nobody is an imam. Etija, we will all go down. So ana man for begin say eye nipa kuo bi and this one affects them. Etija, it does not know NPP, does not know NDC. I can tell you on authority. Some machines don't say Irana and it is with the NPP. I am telling you. And Nuntina, Samia Uku Metna TV, so we will use tactics. They don't have message. They don't have anything. Samia Uku is scared to go to jail. Only Sika Wedino NLA. He knows. He has so many friends in the NDC. And he starts to befriend them and all. He knows he go to jail. He knows. I have documents of people sending documents. Corruption, Ekosuo, NLA. Samia Uku knows. All these boys know the crime they have committed. They don't care if the democracy of this nation goes down. But what about you? Enewomba, obey the 2 years. Election 2020, now we did 1 year. Can you carry your child and walk to Togo? Can you carry your baby and walk to Burkina Faso? These are the things we are talking about. These people are preparing this nation for disaster. Help the NDC. Support their cause. At least they are telling Ghanaians we want transparency. At least they are not being chaotic. They are telling us that there should be transparency in our elections. How many political parties in Africa call for transparency? But why do you think the EC and the NPP are doing this? They have picked your machines and given it to the NPP. And I keep telling Ghana you might not like me, but I am safe. You might not like me. You might die early because of your foolishness. You might not achieve your dream because you kept quiet. You think, this fight is for some people. It is for you. You think the fight for democracy is for some group of people. It is you who can save your democracy. Nobody can save your democracy. People who suppress democracy will crush them. But when you send the masses there, when you send thousands of people out there, they can sustain their democracy. They will crush the oppressor. And anytime they be a catcher will say, politics is not for some group of people. See, I'm saying and support transparency, accountability, and to protect our democracy. A few people like Akuffo and the NPP group Kitwa, they will crush our dreams. And they are on the road to do that. Let us sit in Ghana and say, yen nyina ebe dane mwa ennoma empete ebe di enam ye maame nom ye betwa omuti ye yire nom ye betwitwa omo ye mma ebe dane nkoa ewo nkofo krom. They will scream and nobody will hear. The signals are there for us to speak and save our democracy. We cannot afford to slack or slow down. Nana Dankwa Akufo and the NPP, they don't care. They are ready. They are ready to kill more. But we are the people. In the history of Ghana, the Electoral Commission, they have not lost any machine before in the history of Ghana. For the first time in our history, 5 big machines are lost. CCTV did not cover anything. The people who stole the machines, we don't know their faces. Till date, nobody has told us anything. In the history of the Republic of Ghana, people have come together to submerge our democracy. People have come together to suppress this democracy. I keep saying, Ghanaians, you might not like me as a messenger, but I always say we came without a Bible or a Quran. There's a specific reason why I say we come every day without a Bible or a Quran. It means we should put our religious affiliation together and think as a people and fight for our democracy. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. I'll be back.
Machines, electoral commissions, machines na NPP for them ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa. Yɛbɛdɛ abadwafoɔ no ase sɛ ɔmogye pene kɔkɔtii saa audio no ɛde ɛmaeɛ. Ɛyɛ sɛ NDC foɔ ɔmo ani bere a Kevin Taylor koraa ɛka sɛ ɛyɛ sɛ ɔmo mount heavy demonstration against Electoral Commissioner ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa. Yɛbɛdɛ abadwafoɔ ase sɛ ɔmogye pene kɔkɔtii saa audio no ɛde ɛmaeɛ. Aha ɛyɛ POG Media. Mɛdam ase.